Round 9 of the 2016 Daytona DMAX Championship. Light heats up next, and it was a very interesting affair last time out at Wilton Mill, with 3 different victors in 3 of the races. However, it was Axel Slijepnovic who finished on top in the final, 6 seconds up the road of Tom Golding. So it's set to be a very interesting weekend of racing here at Tamworth today. Welcome back to the 2016 TW Steel Daytona DMAX Championship from Tamworth. We're ready to go then for the heat here this afternoon, the final heat of the weekend. We're very excited for this, and a enthralling first couple of heats we have had, and very, very exciting to see Tom Golding take 2 out of 3 victories in those first 2 heats. That means that he starts on pole position for this race. He was closely challenged though by Joseph Conroy, who did very well within the first couple, and very well also to finish up the order in the third and final heat as well. Max O'Shaughnessy, he will start the race from P3, and alongside him will be Cameron Noble. Then in 5th and 6th position it will be Cameron Kahn and Jake Butler. Matthew Bees and Michael Tillett, who were interlocked in an enthralling battle in the third heat that just happened a few moments ago here at Tamworth as well. That was very, very exciting. Graham Cobb will start the race from P9. Joshua Croft will start in 10th position. 11th will be Nat Thomas. 12th position will be Kamran Musa Sadir. Then it will be Sheridan Shepherd in P13. Ethan Suter will line up this race in 14th position. Josh Ladd will finish the race in line up for the race in 15th place, and then Dane Christensen should line up in 16th, but I don't think we're going to have him to the grid due to a couple of issues with regards to him racing here today. But Tom Golding will start the race from pole position. Alongside him will be Joseph Conroy, and those two have been battling all day. You saw, of course, in the endurance racing action how enthralling it was. Will that be the same here for the final race of the Saturday here at Daytona? So Tom Golding will start the race on the left-hand side of your screen with the blue overalls on and the white crash helmet. Then it will be Joseph Conroy alongside him. Keep an eye out for Max O'Shaughnessy on the second row with the white overalls. Across the timeline they go, lights out, the way we go for the final heat. It's going to be Joseph Conroy who manages to get absolutely mugged for third position as well, I'm afraid to say, by Max O'Shaughnessy. So O'Shaughnessy moving up the order. Tom Golding leads the way though through the first corner. He's already got a distinct advantage. Brilliant to see such fantastic racing. Third place really up for grabs now as well. Looks like O'Shaughnessy in and amongst the mix there into P3 as well. And fourth position also looking pretty menacing as well, because Jake Butler has made an absolute belter of a start, but he's being challenged by Cameron Noble now is Max O'Shaughnessy. Brilliant racing to see, but Tom Golding with the whole shot on the opening lap there. Fantastic start to the race. Then it's Joseph Conroy in second place. Then third position at the moment looks like it is Max O'Shaughnessy. Fantastic to see. Cameron Noble holding on to P5. He's got Matthew Bees just behind him for company as well. Brilliant to see as Noble looks up the inside. So Noble into P4 now, and here comes Bees up the inside as well, looking ahead, but no way through for him there at the moment. Looks like it's a move against Cameron Kahn as they come across the timeline to complete the first lap of asking. It is going to be Tom Golding who leads the way from Joseph Conroy. Then comes Cameron Kahn into P3. So it was O'Shaughnessy who lost out on that opening lap, unfortunately. He's now got Matthew Bees for company. So O'Shaughnessy and Matthew Bees. Bees looking up the inside into the right-hander down the far end of the circuit. No way through there. And then the position behind between Jake Butler and Michael Tillett also changing places as well. Side-by-side racing. Butler around the outside. Fantastic to see. Really getting involved now are all of these drivers, but Golding with the fastest lap last time around. He leads the way a couple of car lengths ahead of Joseph Conroy. Third place Cameron Kahn, then it is Cameron Noble and Matthew Bees coming under some real pressure now. Max O'Shaughnessy in and amongst the mix there, but keep an eye out behind because it is Jake Butler and Michael Tillett who are going hammer and tong. Butler and Tillett, it's been the theme throughout these first few heats. Here comes Tillett up the inside. There's contact into the penultimate corner. My goodness me, how did they both keep that on the track? That was very, very close between them. And there's some great racing going on as well through the first corner, because Matthew Bees, Max O'Shaughnessy and Cameron Noble in descending order are all battling for fourth position. Noble in fourth at the moment, but here comes Bees. He looks around the outside and the inside into the right-hander at the far end of the circuit. So Bees moves ahead. O'Shaughnessy loses out, and here comes Noble around the outside. This is brilliant racing, side by side, nearly 3 wide into that right-hander. Fantastic! no way through though. O'Shaughnessy reigns on top and he goes wide into the next corner. Here comes Bees though, or will Butler try and fight it back? He looks right on the outside, there's contact! My goodness me! O'Shaughnessy holding on for dear life, but here comes Bees, he's trying to find his way through, and all the while this is happening, they're opening the door for the retaining field. Behind them as well of Matthew Bees, of Joshua Kraft and Jake Butler. Keep an eye out for those two because they've been very racy earlier on here today at Daytona. This is brilliant. What a final we're having. Gesticulations as they come across the timing line. Matthew Bees gesticulates to Max O'Shaughnessy, wondering what on earth they were doing really, but making some ground indeed they are. Josh Kraft meanwhile has managed to get himself ahead of Max O'Shaughnessy on that last lap as well, so Josh Kraft now up just behind Matthew Bees. Then it is Max O'Shaughnessy with the white overalls on. You can't miss him. He sticks out like a sore thumb in and amongst the mix. And now he's coming under pressure from Jake Butler for 7th position as well. Into the right-hander they go. Butler looks up the inside, but O'Shaughnessy has to hold on for the time being. And Butler has to just relinquish that position. Michael Tillett down in P9. Don't count him out because he's looked very, very racy. And just behind that duo as well. Keep an eye out also for Graham Cobb and Nat Thomas. They've been very racy as well, and they, with this squabbling quartet of drivers, could prove to be a very interesting development within this racing. Into the final corner comes Matthew Bees though, closely followed by Joshua Kraft, who says his personal best lap time. Max O'Shaughnessy, a bit of a gap back to him, and then it is going to be Jake Butler and Michael Tillett. So they're all very, very close. Tom Golding still out in front in the lead of this race. Joseph Conroy holding on to P2 so far, and Noble in P3 as well. What a brilliant final we are having here in the light category. Up the inside goes O'Shaughnessy, and it looks like there's problems for one of the carts, a mechanical issue of some sort by the looks of things for Joshua Kraft. That's a real shame for Kraft if that is the case. We'll hope it's not, and hope he can get the machine rectified and get himself back into contention of this race. But nonetheless, he's lost quite a few positions, and that four-way scrap now becomes an effective two-way scrap as well, because he got caught up a bit behind. So let's keep an eye on things, but still holding on to third place is Cameron Noble, then it's Cameron Kahn, and then further behind Matthew Bees in P5 and Joshua Kraft. Max O'Shaughnessy as well, he's been very, very quick all weekend, but he's lost out and he's losing power and he's slowing down on the straight. So Max O'Shaughnessy with some technical issues for his car by the looks of things. He slows down, he puts one arm in the air, and he is absolutely gutted. A real shame to a very positive weekend for Max O'Shaughnessy. He'll be very disappointed with that, as Tom Golding sets the fastest lap that we've seen here this weekend so far at Daytona. Joseph Conroy holding on to P2, then it's Cameron Noble. Cameron Kahn still in and amongst the mix in P4. Matthew Bees as well, holding on to P5 so far. Then there's a bit of a gap back to Michael Tillett, who's made some ground as well. He's now ahead of Jake Butler, is Michael Tillett. And then there is the brilliantly battling scrap of Graham Cobb and Nat Thomas. Fantastic racing throughout the entirety of the field in this final. And Tom Golding, well, what can we say about him? What a weekend he is having this weekend here at Tamworth. It was 3 out of 3 last time at Wilton Mill for the final round, or for that last round, rather, round 8 of the championship. But round 9 here at Tamworth, the penultimate round of the championship, is very, very interesting indeed. Keep an eye out for Joseph Conroy, of course, also in second place. Cameron Noble holding on to the third position so far as well. I really expected that Ethan Suter would be making a bit more progress through the field. He's sitting in 11th position so far. He's made a few positions up given where he started in 14th place, but nonetheless, I'm sure he'll be a bit disappointed with that result if that is indeed where he finishes. Still holding on to 5th place is Matthew Bees. Bit of a gap now has broken out between himself and Michael Tillett in 5th and 6th place, but Michael Tillett has got Jake Butler for company right behind as they go through into the final sector. Butler's last lap was a 57.3. In comparison, Tillett was a 56.7, so significantly quicker was Tillett, but nonetheless, Butler has looked very quick on this lap. Whether there was an uncharacteristic sort of mistake for Michael or not, I'm not sure, but nonetheless, very, very interested between them. They're only battling for the lower points paying positions in this race, but nonetheless, it is very, very exciting indeed. Down the hill they go into the sweeping right-hander. Some brilliant racing going on through the field. Tom Golding, though, he's cleared off out in front. He's in a different postcode in comparison to the rest of the drivers that are on circuit at the moment. So Tom Golding looking pretty comfortable out there, it's got to be said. Joseph Conroy, though, still sticking with him by the looks of things. Indeed he is. So Joseph Conroy, he's cleared off, and in fact the top two have really cleared off. Joseph Conroy and Tom Golding are sitting pretty much line astern on circuit for the lead of this race. Into the final corner they go, and Conroy looking very, very racy, so he's really closed up the gap over the last couple of laps. He looks over his shoulder, does Tom Golding into the first corner, closely followed by Conroy. Then it's Cameron Noble in P3 who sets a personal best lap time, with Cameron Kahn in 4th place, who is looking pretty racy as well. But the lead of this race really is not done and settled at all between these drivers. Let's wait and see what will happen. Will it be Golding's 3rd victory of the weekend, 4th victory of the weekend I should say as well, or will it be Joseph Conroy who manages to reign on top for the first time? Let's wait and see. Down the hill they go, coming up towards the final sector through the sweeping right-hander. Doing a great job out there is Golding. His defensive driving cannot be faulted whatsoever, but Conroy's offensive driving, not offensive driving I should say, but very attacking style of driving is looking brilliant and very, very calm and controlled out there on track. Into the final corner they go, rotating the kart round across the timing line for the leaders. Tom Golding leads the way from Joseph Conroy. Brilliant racing that we're having so far. Then comes Cameron Noble in P3, who's still got Cameron Kahn not too close for company, but not too far behind either. Then there's a bit of a gap back to Matthew Bees, who in turn has also got Michael Tillett. And keep an eye out also for Jake Butler in P7, as well as Graham Cobb, who's holding on to 8th place so far in this race. Nat Thomas in 9th, as Ethan Suter is making the progress that we thought he would up the field into 10th position. We've got a driver that's gone off at the first corner as well. They're back on the circuit and back in this race, which is good to see, but a slight off into the tyre barrier. Of course, a momentary bit of panic here up in the commentary box, but nonetheless all sorted and done and dusted now here at the TW Steel Daytona DMAX Championship. Into the penultimate couple of corners for Tom Golding and the 2nd place man of Joseph Conroy. Then it's Cameron Noble, who's got Cameron Kahn for company. Matthew Bees in P5, Michael Tillis in P6, Jake Butler in P7, Graham Cobb, he's also in P8 as well, and he has brought Nat Thomas with him. Ethan Suter's way down the road in P10, but looking good for a good top 10 finish for Ethan. He'll be very pleased with that. 10 laps completed though here at the DMAX Championship, and Tom Golding looking brilliant out there, but still soaking up the pressure like a sponge from Joseph Conroy. Conroy looks up the inside into the left-handed hairpin, but no way through there as they go into the right up the top of the circuit. The highest point on the circuit, that hairpin they've just gone through, and then they cascade downhill again into the left-hander, and Conroy looking very, very racy indeed. Into the hairpin once more. It's a good overtaking spot. That is turn 9. But no way through for Conroy there once again. But he's looking to try and position his kart in such a place that Tom Golding will not be able to get through. Everybody loves a good victory in the championship, but there's nothing like winning a final. And that is proved to be the case between the top two. They're not giving each other an inch on circuit. Tom Golding from Joseph Conroy. 2 laps to go in this race. Cameron Noble finishing in P3 would be a good result for him if he can hold on there. Meanwhile, Jake Butler sets his personal best lap time in 7th position. But Golding and Conroy, Noble versus Kahn as well. That's an interesting battle for the final podium position. That could be very, very exciting indeed. Cameron Noble holding on to P3 so far in this race, with Cameron Kahn for company just behind. Noble in the kart with the blue overalls on, and Cameron Kahn with the white overalls on as well. You can really distinguish the two. But brilliant to see such amazing racing. We've been going for 11 minutes so far, and 2 laps to go. So one more time around, and then they'll have their final lap of racing. So here it goes then for Tom Golding, who leads the way from Joseph Conroy into the final corner and to start their final lap of racing. Brilliant to see. So across the timing line they go. It's Golding from Conroy. 2/10 of a second separation as they come across the timing line. Then there's a gap back to Cameron Noble in P3, who's got all sorts of pressure from behind as well, with Cameron Kahn. Matthew Bees in P5 still, just ahead of Michael Tillis and Jake Butler, who's in P7 is Butler. Then it's Nat Thomas versus Graham Cobb. Cobb, who's lost out to Thomas over the last couple of laps as well. And then your top 10 finishing out with Ethan Suter. So final lap as well. Will Conroy be able to try and find a way through against Golding? Down the hill they go in towards the final sector once more. He's looking every which way he can, is Conroy, but he's just got no opportunity to try and make a move into the turn 9 hairpin. He'll think about it, but there's just no way through for him. Meanwhile, the final podium place is really up for grabs as well, because here comes Kahn around the outside. My goodness me of Noble. He doesn't make it through into the final corner. Meanwhile, he looks at planting a move, does the second place man of Joseph Conroy. He doesn't manage it though. It's going to be a victory in the final for Tom Golding. just ahead of Joseph Conroy, and then the third and final spot on the podium is going to go down to the line. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Cameron Noble, who takes it by just a few hundredths of a second. Then it is Cameron Khan in P4. What a finish we have had here for the final race of the day. Matthew Bees in P5, Michael Tillett comes across the line in 6th position. Then it is Jake Butler in 7th place. Nat Thomas finishes the race in 8th position. Graham Cobb will round out in 9th place. Ethan Suter is in your top 10 as well. 11th position is Josh Ladd. 12th place was Sheridan Shepherd. 13th was Joshua Craft. 14th was Max O'Shaughnessy. 15th was Cameron Musa Sadir. Then, of course, in 16th position, failing to start that race, as we mentioned earlier on, was unfortunately Dane. Well, Cameron, that was an incredibly exciting race. It came down to the wire between yourself and Cameron to go to the line. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was very close. He gave me a good run for my money, and just the last lap I realised he was very close. Made a small error into turn 3, and so I went defensive for the whole lap, and yeah, that was enough though. So.
Fantastic. Let's move over to talk to the P2 man as well. That was Joseph Conroy. Joseph, a really exciting race for you there. You were sticking with Tom throughout the vast majority of it. Tell us all about it though.
Yeah, he didn't make a mistake all race really. There was a couple of times where I gained a little bit of ground, but never when I was in a position to do anything. So yeah, fair play to Tom. Well done.
There we go. Let's go and chat to Tom then and see what he's thinking about that. Tom, another victory for you. I mean, you must be getting bored of steading on the top step.
Definitely not bored, no. But yeah, Joe applied the pressure the whole race, so. But really good final, and I don't know, maybe another 5 minutes he'd have been on the back of me, but it's good. It's a good race.
Well, Tom, we've just gotten the calculator out. We've worked out that you've won not only the Endurance Championship, but the Heats Championship as well. Tell us how it feels.
Absolutely chuffed, obviously. Didn't think it was possible to do it today. I'd like Jim to just clarify it, but yeah, obviously, if I've won it, then happy days. I have to turn up for next round.
So that concludes a fantastic day's worth of racing here at Daytona Tamworth. Thank you ever so much for watching, and remember to book your place on the grid, visit the website or call this number for more details.